All right, so welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Manifest Your Author Dreams Masterclass, How to Produce a Book Without Writing an Entire Book. And so this webinar or masterclass is grounded, centered around the power of collaboration. And so I'm excited that you are here. I've already identified who is in the space and what state you represent. So what I'm also encouraging you to do is put in the chat area or the Q&A. I always say chat, but put in the Q&A box where you are as a visionary author. So if you have a book published, type a number 1. If you do not have a book published, type a number 2. So 1, if you don't have any books published, and 2, if you do have, what did I say again? 1, if you are a published author, and 2, if you're not a published author. So Kokisha is a published author, Lynette is a published author, Wanda is not a published author. Okay. And so 1, if you have books published, 2, if you do not have book published. And so I want to, of course, scan the room. Do workbooks count? So is the workbook published and available for the public? If so, then yes, you are a published author. Tasha, all right. So majority. Okay. So majority of everyone here are published authors. So great, right? So this is good to know. So you've already done that part and you know how it flows, how it works. And so I want to share. So basically the desire to continue writing is still inside of you. It's still inside of you. It's still that burning desire. You have more in you that you want to get out. And so this masterclass is about how to produce a book without writing an entire book. So, understanding that it is the power of collaboration, and I'm going to share with you some insight on how I've leveraged collaborations to not only build a business, but also grow our business and make impact by producing book collaborations where there are more and more co-authors on the project getting their stories in the marketplace as well. So this goes to building authority, it goes to building credibility, building the platform, and building that thought leadership as an industry or subject matter expert. And so that's what I want to share with you. And so you are here. I just want to commend you for taking the time this evening to be here. You could be doing anything else, but you decided to show up for yourself tonight to get information on how you can manifest your author dreams by producing a book that does not require you to write an entire book, and understanding how you can leverage support, leverage expertise, leverage thought leadership from others to join forces with you and help you along the way. And so if that is your goal and you feel you are in the right space at the right time, type a number 5 in the Q&A. Type a number 5. And so as I said when we started, this is how I train, how I talk, how I coach. Like, I don't want to be here talking about myself. So I'll have you on the keyboard, working those fingers as we move through the presentation tonight. All right, so everyone is here in the right place at the right time. So we are going to get started. So, does this sound familiar? I like to do questions like this to level set who's in the room and pretty much where you are, get a sense of where you are. So, if this sounds like you, for this question here or this statement here, I want you to type a number 8 in the Q&A. So, you have this idea or ideas about a book you want to write, but you're unsure where to start. There's some confusion around how do I even get this book baby off the ground? So, if that is you, type a number 8. If that is you. All right. Sure, you're driving. No worries. Drive safely. So Wanda says number 8. Okay. Number 8. I'm going to move to the next question. So does this sound familiar? You have this idea or ideas about a book that you want to write, but you can't seem to find the time to write an entire book. Type a number 9. You know, you work, you have the day job, you may have a part-time job, you may have a spouse, you have children, you have responsibilities, you have laundry, you have cooking, you have community work and all these things going on. It's like, well, when I find the time to sit down and write, like, all I want to do is nap and sleep. So I really don't have the time to do that. So if that is you, then type a number 9. A number 9. Okay. So finding the time to write. Okay. And then the other question is, or statement, you're just curious, right? So you saw this come up in your news feed, or you saw it, come across your phone about the masterclass tonight. And so you got a little curious. Well, like, how can I generate revenue, have that cash flow to produce a book without me writing an entire book by myself? So if that piqued your interest, then type a number 6. If that piqued your interest, like, how do I generate cash flow? How can I make this happen? Right? To generate cash flow and show up with a published book and do this, which is, win-win-win. Okay. Awesome. So, yes, you are in the right place at the right time. So, what I want to share with you this evening is the power of collaboration, producing a book without writing an entire book. So, we're going to get into some numbers, some financials. Like, we're going to have a good time tonight. And I want you to also see and think about what's in it for you. What's in it for you? So, think about that. It's okay to be a little selfish. Yes, we want to live lives, live our life and make impact and give to others, and always outpouring of what we can do to help someone else. But tonight I want you to think about, well, what's in it for me? How can I make this happen for me? What's the win for the business? What's the win for the legacy? What's the win for my goals? What's the win for my dream? So if you okay with us putting the light and the focus on you tonight, type a number 3 if you're okay with that. If you are okay with that. All right. So let's get into it. So a little bit about me. There's some familiar faces on tonight, and there's some new people. So I want to share a little bit about me, who I am, so you can just get familiar with why or how I'm in this space, like showing up in front of you, sharing and talking about this topic. So meet me, of course, Dr. Tamara Mitchell Davis, authority business coach. I am the CEO of TM Davis Enterprise. My book, my very first book published in 2017, is what started our business. And so, as an authority business coach, I've been specializing in not only helping women and men write, publish best-selling books, but also building their author platform, starting their businesses, growing their businesses, and really showing up as experts and thought leaders in their industry. And so I am an award-winning and an 11-time best-selling visionary author. I'm a wife and a mom, so I understand when it's like, okay, I have all these things I need to tend to. How can I show up for me and write this book by myself? I get it, right? And so I am a podcast host. My podcast is the CEO Wife Experience. Right now, we are on a slight sabbatical. Um, I'll share more about that as I talk through the presentation. And I am the host of our Pen to Profit annual conference. And I'll share more about that as well. I am the founder of Pen to Profit, Write, Publish, and Build Community, which is on Facebook. MBA, graduate, doctorate in Christian leadership. I've been in business for a little over 5 years, the book and business consultant space. I've been featured on tons of platforms, radio, print, and podcasts. And I have over 25 years in combined experience in the education field, business, and workforce development. So that's a little bit about me. So what I've done when I wrote and published my very first book in 2017, for me, it was just the goal of writing the book, proving to myself that I could do it. That's it, goal fulfilled. But as I published the book and started realizing that aha moment that there was more things that I could do with it, that's when the business started. And so I've been able to build my platform. I've been able to make greater impact. I've been able to grow the business to 6 figures. I've been able to help other women do the same. And so this is what the masterclass is about tonight, because I want to share that same experience and blueprint with you. So here are some books that we've published. And technically, when I put up this, put together this slide, I keep saying 11-time best-selling author, and realized today that it's actually 12. I wrote the foreword and pain equals purpose. And when you are a part of any book, whether a forwarder or I just made that word up, writing the forward, or you are a collaborator or co-author in a book, it still qualifies you because you are a part of the book project. So technically it is 12 best-selling books that I've been a part of. So I just wanted to share that as well with you, because sometimes as you go, like I'm so driven and ambitious, you lose sight of the accomplishment. You lose sight of the strides that you've made. You lose sight of like the numbers. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And so I definitely wanted to shout out Dr. LaShonda, Pain Equals Purpose, one of my clients, this evening as well. So here are the our Pen to Profit conference, April 2023 of this year. We had Pen to Profit in Puerto Rico. And next year, April 2024, we will be in Jamaica. April 3rd to April 7th, we will be on the island of Jamaica, and I'm looking forward to it. The theme of our conference is ease and flow. So just understanding that it doesn't need to be hustle and bustle and just a whole bunch of moving and shaking, but we can definitely have some ease and flow in our life. 1 second. Had to, excuse me. I'm getting over a cold. Sorry about that. Had a little coughing spell. Little was under the weather, but I was not canceling the class tonight. So please just bear with me. Excuse me. So Pen to Profit will be in Jamaica 2024. Interested in going, reach out to me. Early bird tickets are on sale. It's always a great time and a great experience. So here's some of the women that I've been working with thus far. And of course, I need to update this, but I'm not sure where I will add more. So I've been using this slide here just to create a visual of the women that we've been able to work with. I had the pleasure of working with thus far. So here, before we, jump into the meat and potatoes of tonight, I just want to share with you a quick confession. And I like to do this because, when people see you on social media and they see like, the accomplishments, the accolades, they're like, oh, wow, she's doing great things. And, look where she is now versus where she started, etc. And I want to share with you, like when I started out, I did not know that this was the path that I would take. When I started out, I did not understand how to initially publish my first book. So my first book took me about 10 years to get it done because I was struggling with the element of perfection, thinking that everything had to be perfect. I was trying to dump everything in the book. I didn't understand the process from taking it from idea to publishing to the marketplace. Thought it was harder than what it ended up being. Struggling with doubting the validity of the story, who would read it, who would buy it, who would connect with my story, etc. So it took me several years to get my book complete. 2017, when I published the first book, as I shared in the beginning, initially it was just to prove to myself that I could do it. And once I did, I was then able to see the impact. I had women reaching out to me, asking me, how did you do it? Can you show me how to do it? So I initially started out with taking Goal Getter book and running classes on goal setting and vision planning. And this is how you can align your book message to create additional products and services. And so I was doing goal setting and personal development and vision planning. And I would have corporate contracts going into businesses to do vision board parties with staff and give copies. Well, it was a part of the package, autograph copies of the book, have book talks, book chats. So I leveraged that book to build my platform, to grow the platform, to venture into spaces and places that I had not been before. But I did not know this starting out. I struggled with fear. I struggled with doubt. I struggled with not knowing the process of it all. But once I did, I still had to learn how to move the book, how to leverage the book, how to market the book, how to sell the book, how to build with the book. And so there's several things that I've done thus far to date that I've been self-taught. Like I taught myself how to create mugs. I taught myself how to create customized t-shirts with wording on it that align to the book message. I've taught myself how to create the platform where I can sell things on demand, and I no longer had to keep an inventory. But I didn't know this in the beginning. And so I'm sharing this with you because I want to remove some pressure if anyone came with pressure thinking about, well, I don't know all of this or any of this. How do I do this? And that's been the stall with you, the feeling of stuck, the feeling of being overwhelmed, even some feelings of frustration because you're like, well, I don't know. Well, the only way for you to know, the only way for you to figure it out, the only way for you to move through and get to your next is by doing. So it wasn't until I started doing that I started seeing, I started testing, I started tweaking, I started trying, and I was able to figure things out. And when I was able to figure things out, now I'm more equipped to say, okay, I like this, I don't like this. Let me do a little bit more of this. Let me change this. Let me tweak this. And I've been able to refine things in the business. And this is a part of entrepreneurship. It's figuring things out. It's testing things. It's trying things. It's tweaking. And it's really creating a product or service that your ideal clients are interested in, with you showing up to meet the need and solve the problem that they have. So that's my confession. I feel a little free now, so we can ease and glide on through the presentation. So one thing that you need to know is a book won't just write itself. If you hire a ghostwriter, you still need to inform them what information you want in the book. If you are a solo author, meaning that you're writing the book by yourself, you still need to write the book. Schedule time to write the book. Come up with your outline. Come up with content that you want to share in the book. If you are the visionary author, guess what? You still need to have a hand in what you're doing. So you still need to have the theme of the book, the mission of the book, the co-authors that you want to handpick to be a part of the book. But the book won't just write itself. I'm sorry. We're in that day and age where a pen won't just magically raise up and start writing on a piece of a blank paper, or the keyboard just start typing by itself. So the book won't just write itself. So there are decisions that you need to make in order to decide how you want to birth what's inside of you in regard to your story or your book. All right. So my promise to you this evening, excuse me, my promise to you is for you to think differently on how you can manifest your author dreams through the power of collaboration to make the income and impact that you desire. That is my promise to you. And anytime you've been on a presentation with me, for those who are here back with me and you've been with me before, and for the newbies who are here, I have this slide here because I want you to understand the perspective of this slide. So for me, I'm in a place of, when you start talking about writing books, publishing books, and we think about leaving a legacy, well, I'm in a place where I want to live my legacy. I don't want to wait until I'm no longer here that, things are being shared and talked about and all these great things that have happened, but I want to live it. I want to speak it. I want to be a part of it while I'm still here breathing on this earth. But here's what trip us up sometimes. And so I want to share this quote by Les Brown, because the graveyard is the richest place on earth. It is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take that first step, keep with the problem, or determined to carry out their dream. Les Brown. So I felt a need to pause right there. What we don't want to happen is that this is our story. We want to leave all stones unturned. We want to make sure that we live full and we die empty, that we are not only leaving a legacy, but we're living in our legacy. Like, let's enjoy it while we are here on this earth. And this does not need to be our story. All right. So let's get started now. Grab a blank piece of paper if you need to, or open up a tab on your Word document if you want to take notes. You do have an opportunity to grab the replay of this session, which comes with the workbook as well. So that information will be shared, and I'll also put it in the chat. So, what a book can do for you. Before I get into get into like the next step, I want you to think about what a book can do for you. And so there were quite a few people on here now who already have published books. And if you already have published books, then you know that these bullets here, you can check some of them off, right? And if you cannot check some of them off, then you know there's still work to do. So a book can build your authority. Build your authority, meaning that you are showing up as an expert in your industry. You are a trailblazer, you are a game changer, you are a thought leader, you are a visionary. You have the passion, you have the dream, you have the vision, and you are ready to just go. And so a book can do that for you because it's what you share in the book and you leveraging the book to market and sell it, to get it in the hands of others where your story resonates with them. It can shift their perspective. It can help them in some way, shape, or form. And so that's building authority and also building credibility. A book can also generate passive income for you. Just yesterday, I had someone reach out to me about purchasing copies of the book. They purchased 3 copies of the book, right? So we have 11, but they purchased 3 copies. But guess what? That's still 3 extra copies, which means that that was coins in the bank or gas in the tank, but it was passive income. So I didn't have to do anything to earn that other than go to the post office to mail the package off, right? And so that's passive income. The book can also be a lead generating tool for your business. And so in the book, you want to definitely have information in the book on how the reader can connect with you, have in the book your products and services, have in the book, of course, your story, because your story is a connection piece. Your story is the bridge. Your story is a conversation starter. A story, when shared with others, they're able to see that they're not alone. They're able to be inspired. They're able to be motivated just by someone's story. And when we're no longer here, our book leaves the legacy. And so books exist for 70 plus years. So that means when we're no longer here, our children's children can have access to something that we've created, which goes into impact and changing lives. And so those are just a few of the benefits of writing a book and what a book can do for you. So I'm going to start us off with the fundamentals. And I put this picture here specifically because when you're building a house, you want to make sure that you have a strong foundation. And so with having a strong foundation, there's always a few things that you should consider when starting out. And this is with you writing an entire book by yourself, like a solo book, or being a visionary author, leveraging the power of collaboration. And so key fundamentals, number 1 is writing with purpose. And you can write this down as well. Writing with purpose. You want to make sure to build a strong foundation. There are some key questions you want to get clear on. Ask yourself, respond, get clear on, write it down, tweak it, refresh it, whatever you need to do so that when you are putting your book, putting your offer into the marketplace, you are clear on your goal. And so those key fundamentals, number 1, writing with purpose, is the why, the who, the what, and the connect. And so the why is, what is the purpose of the book? Why are you writing the book? And I'm going to actually stick to the visionary author piece, the power of collaboration. And so you have the desire to publish a book, get the book into the marketplace, and you're looking to have others join you. The power of collaboration, right? So the first thing to do is get clear on your why. Why do you want to do it? What's the book purpose? What's the message? Who you're looking to attract, right? Your co-authors, you want to handpick them, right? Your co-authors, because they should be on the same frequency, the same path, like-minded, like interested as you are, so that you can be pushing in the same direction. So who is it for? What message do you want to convey, right? What do they need? And connecting this to your business or book goals, right? That's the connection piece, because that will then connect to your audience. All right. So if you're clear on that, type a number 4 in the Q&A box. I want to make sure that you're still tapped in with me. Type a number 4. That was also my pause for a drink. All right. So the why, the who, the what, and the connect. Remember that, WWC. The next key fundamental is around establishing authority, right? With you showing up as an expert, right? Not only sharing content, but you first have to write the content before you can share it. But it goes back into or falls in alignment with you sharing your expertise. And so many aspiring authors feel as if, when you hear, oh, well, I'm sharing my story, they get a little nervous about that. Imposter syndrome may show up. And it's like, well, this is your experience. Yes, you can share your experience, and there's no fraud in you sharing your experience. It's something that you've experienced. Like you had first row seat to the experience of your life. And so this is you sharing your expertise, sharing your experience, whether it's personal or professional, but providing value to your audience, to the co-authors, to those you are looking to attract and do business with, and then reinforcing your expertise with the content you share in the book. This goes back to building the correct credibility. So how can your book solve problems? How will your book reinforce your expertise? That's something for you to think about, right? So sometimes people, they go off track with the book because they try and dump everything, the kitchen sink, the stove, the fridge, all the food from the fridge and everything into a book. And you want to make sure that you are positioning yourself strategically as an industry leader or thought leader, as a subject matter expert. And that's around building the credibility around a specific topic, a specific theme. And so using Blessed Not Broken series as an example, with Blessed Not Broken, my reason and goal and the purpose behind that was to create a version or versions, additions, similar to Chicken Soup for the Soul, but it's for the culture, our culture. And so there's several editions of Blessed Not Broken, and each edition is centered around a specific theme, right? And each co-author is sharing their expertise, their experience that's also connected to the theme of the book. That's providing value. That's reinforcing the experience and the expertise with the content that you share in the book to build credibility. And so you can do the exact same thing, but you first need to get clear on the why, the who, the what, and how that will connect with your business. All right. So the next that I want to share with you, a key fundamental, is leveraging the book for marketing. And so you also want to consider how you can utilize the book as a marketing tool. So when I published the first book, I shared my story, 2017, and then I had this light bulb moment go off. It was no longer just publishing a book and that's it. It was using the book as a marketing tool. So what did I do? I was a sponsor for conferences to get my book in the hands of other prospects. I was selling books. I became my own walking brand and billboard around the book. I had products and services connected to the book message that was able to connect with my readers. And so everyone was talking about goal getting. When they saw me in my community, it wasn't, hey, Tamara, it was, hey, go getter, right? And so I started and created a movement to build my author platform just by leveraging my book as a marketing tool to move me into spaces and places to get in front of more people. Right. And so I leveraged the book to promote the business, to highlight my services in the book. And then now being online, what am I doing? I do trainings. I have a community. I've been building my author platform. I do master classes. I host events. I have a podcast. This wasn't all in one day. This was a part of the building, right? And starting with a strong foundation, starting with the who, the what, the why, right? And the connect. From there, just being able to build, being able to test, being able to try things out, being able to tweak things as I went along, I've been able to get in front of more and more people, which led to more opportunities. That's how I've received speaking engagements. That's how I've been recognized and nominated for awards, all from leveraging the book as a marketing tool to get in front of additional people. All right. So, my story, again, I shared with you my confession. When I started out, I did not know all of this. I started out with a foam board and an easel. And you see that with me in the picture at my first book signing, my first book launch, I worked with what I had. And so it was an easel, it was a foam board. I had my table with my t-shirts, I had my books, my pens. You see my cup of water, you see the books there. I did a little talk, my little TED talk. And so that was my story starting out. But then realizing that I could do more with more and help more people once I saw the need, and realizing that, yes, I was a movement by myself, but we're a force when we're together. And so from there, working with other co-authors to support them in becoming best-selling authors. And then now, guess what? They're connecting with more people. They're having their book launches and book sales because they treat the book as if it's their own, as they should. Right. And so showing them, training them on the aspect of that, we've not only created a network, but we've created a family. And we've been able to travel together. We've been at conferences together. We host events together. And so I share with them all the time that everything you need is really within the network. It really is. If we are leveraging the strengths of everyone, everything that you need is within the network. But when I started out, I didn't even think about this or fathom the magnitude of this because I started out just doing it by myself. All right. So if you are in a space of like, now is the time that I want to leverage a book and build my author platform and make impact and build community or create a community and expand my reach, type a number 4 in the Q&A. Type a number 4 there. Because that's what I've been able to do. And that's what I want to show you this evening. And so it is the power of collaboration. So to collaborate means to work with someone to produce or create something. And you get to decide what that something is. You get to decide what that experience is. You get to decide that. That goes back to the why. You get to decide what that is. And so we're going to dive into something which I want to say is truly extraordinary. It's extraordinary because I guarantee you there's a way to make it happen through the power of collaboration. And for those who have been on projects with me, then they know that the experience that I've created, I hear it time and time again, that it sets a standard, it sets an expectation, and it's a memorable experience, that something that they want to either do again or duplicate. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. All right. So with the book collaboration, you get to create the experience. You get to create that experience. You get to decide what type of experience you want to have with the co-authors. You get to decide the experience you want the co-authors to have with you. You get to decide the experience on how you and the co-authors show up in the marketplace and what all you do individually or collectively. And this is the why. The common goal. It's a shared vision. And you get to handpick like-minded and like-interested women or men, whoever you decide to work with who are goal-driven, results-oriented, and the bonus is the experience. The experience. Because it's a venture into something that you may not have done before, thought about before, experienced before, but you get to decide what that experience is. And for me, that is mind-blowing. It is extraordinary. And so before you're identifying like who will be the key collaborators on this project, going back to before, get clear on the why, the who, the what, and the connect. Like this is something you want to do at the beginning stages. Remember, the foundation, building a strong foundation. You want to do this at the beginning stages, whether it's an entire book or leading a book collaboration, because it is equally important. Because before you start reaching out to other people to say, hey, I have this book project that you might be interested in, or I want to run it by you, or let's get on a call, you want to make sure that you are crystal clear about your vision and the purpose of the book to begin with. And that's the why. And so the who is, who would be a good fit for the book? Whenever I'm doing book collaborations, I have calls with everyone to decide if it's a good fit, to decide if it's alignment, to decide if it's synergy there, right? To get a sense of where they are in the process so that I can decide, well, is it a good fit or not? Or maybe they decide if it's a good fit or not. But this is something you want to get clear on early on, right? From the beginning. This is the foundation. And then the what is the message that you're trying to share and the change you want to inspire amongst others, right? And so when you're looking for potential collaborators, you want to connect with those within your network, those within the online communities where you are showing up, leveraging social media. Most of us are on social media. That's how all of you are here right now, because you've seen me on social media, conferences that you attend, and of course, events that's related to the topic, the theme of the book message. There are groups, communities, right, centered around specific topics and area of focus, right? People have things that they're passionate about and they create communities. Well, if you have a book message or a book topic that you're looking to drive home, then you want to explore, well, where can I find individuals in these spaces who are like-minded and like interested, right? And that's how you start identifying potential collaborators. So if you are clear on that, type a number 3. If you are clear on that, type a number 3. All right. So what I want to share with you here is you. And I'm saying you, YOU, yes, you who are on with me, because that's the power of what you create. And thinking about how you are starting and moving through with the project, it's really you piecing the puzzle together because you're getting clear on those initial questions. You're finding or identifying, handpicking potential collaborators, and it is piecing the puzzle together. So when you understand the collaborative process of it all, and even the collaboration that takes place with writing, you are bringing together different voices. Like I want you to really sit and think about the impact here and just the impact that you have and the impact that you can make with this. So you're thinking about the whole collaboration piece. And with collaborative writing, you're bringing together different voices, different insights, and different experiences to create a unified masterpiece. And so the beauty of handpicking co-authors, and for me, this is how I do it. I like to make sure that all stories on the project are different. They're connected to the theme of the book and the subject matter, but the experiences and the storytelling piece are different. So when you think about, well, if I read a book and in the book, every chapter I'm reading the exact same thing, then that's a boring read. So for me, I like to handpick collaborators or co-authors who have the connection to the theme, but their stories are different. And so you get to piece together this puzzle to create or assemble your dream team. All right. And then when you think about why collaborate, you want to understand that you have the power, you have the you are the decision maker, right? And choosing the topic and dividing up the work, creating the timeline, leveraging the strengths of each co-author on the project, from storytelling to just the experience itself, having regular check-ins, shared timelines. Like, this is everything that I infuse into my projects, which is why I call them experiences. Experiences, right? This is how you can add value and you generate income with it, because you are providing an experience. All right. So turning ideas into actions, and why collaborate? Why collaborate? And so some of what I shared before in regard to like the uniqueness of everyone's story, it gives a diverse perspective, right? Diverse perspectives. It has the variety. It captures the attention of the reader. It piques the interest of the reader, captures the attention of the reader, keeps them engaged, and end up like saying, well, this was a good read. This was helpful information. And so you don't have to write an entire book by yourself when you have co-authors, because everyone on the project shares the writing load. And you get to decide that, whether it's 6 co-authors and 6 chapters, or you have 12 co-authors and 12 chapters, or 15 co-authors and 15 chapters. It's still the sharing of the writing load, right? So it's a shared responsibility, which makes the process more manageable. And the end goal, not the end all be all, but one of the let's say the goals at the end, is expanding your reach. Because when you have more people on the project, remember, you're a force by yourself, but I mean, a movement by yourself, but a force when you're together, it's expanding the reach. And so collaborators, co-authors, often bring their audiences, they bring their family, they bring their connections, they bring their network, and it's multiplying the impact in order to make greater impact. And so it is expanding the reach. All right. So now this is the juicy part, right? I know everyone, it gets happy when they see money and they see dollar signs. So this is going to be an interactive piece right here. So for financials, how does this work? When I started out producing book collaborations, I started out, my price point was $19.97 per person on my book collaborations. It has since increased, right? Because yesterday's price is not today's price. And I've added more and more and more value in what I do to support my co-authors, and making sure that once they are published, not only do they have an experience, but they've learned a ton of information, they've made connections, and they've also generated some revenue from the book sales. So as a visionary author, this is slightly different. And so I want someone to put in the chat, just off the top of your head, if you were, producing your own book collaboration, off the top of your head, what would you want to charge? What would you want to charge? What do you think would be a good price point for you to charge? And I want everyone to just put it in the chat. It's no guilt, it's no shame. We just throwing numbers out there right now, just for the financials. All right, to do this. So put in the chat what you think will be a good price. Okay, so thank you. So Tangi said $34.97, right? And so Tangi, let's say $34.97, and you have 10 co-authors on your project. Let's do the math there. All right. Excuse me. Let's do the math there. So Tangi says $3,497 per person on her project. She has 10 people join her project. 10 people, 10 individuals, 10 co-authors, times $34.97 is $34,970. That's revenue for Tangi. Now, we didn't allocate the expenses, But that's just out the gate. That's what Tangi says she wants to do. So Tangi has the potential of making $34,970. So we're going to move to Tasha. Tasha says $2,599.97. Okay, Tasha. And she has 10 co-authors on the project. Now, Tasha can generate 25,997. Hold on, let me do my math right. $25,999.70. Right? That's the potential. Celeste, 2,000, so 10 co-authors, $20,000. Nadine, 4,000, 10 co-authors, that's $40,000. Right? And so this is where I get hung up. 1,500, that's the most I paid. Okay, Kokisha. Coco, let's see. 1,500 times 10 is $15,000. 10 authors. Now, this is just with 10 authors. If you had 6 authors, let's go back to Tangi, $34.97 times 6 authors, that's $20,000, $20,982. Does anyone feel like that's not good money? If you had 6 co-authors and not 10, $20,000, almost $21,000. Is that a yes? Right? 20,000. Right? And so if this was, let's use Celeste. If Celeste decided she's doing a launch, she has her offer at 2,000 and 6 people on, that's $12,000. Celeste, would you turn down $12,000 with 6 co-authors? Would you turn that down? Yes or no? Would you turn that down? Celeste says no, right? So you get to decide what that looks like. You get to decide that. So yes, Nadine, the math is mathing. And Coco, just stay tuned because there's more of what I'll share, because getting hung up in numbers, that could be a challenge. But you want to consider the experience that you're providing, the training that you're offering, the expertise that you bring to the table, how long the project, like there's more that go into how you can price it accordingly. All right. So with doing that little short example or exercise with the financials and hearing the numbers, how does that make you feel? Put in the Q&A box. How would you feel hitting those numbers based on what you shared so far? How would that make you feel? How amazing. Dr. Shaka said amazing. That will make you feel amazing. Absolutely. So my projects range anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 per project. It's more that I do than just have the co-authors write a chapter. It's way more than that, right? And so I know of people who sell projects per person less than this. Coco said 1,500 is what she has paid. I know people who run book collaboration projects for like $5,000 and $6,000. Right? And so it's just on like the experience you want to create and how you stack the value of what you are offering. I know someone who did a book collaboration and offered a book launch to be on a cruise. So guess what? You had to cover the money. They had to pay for their cruise too. So you put that in to the offer, right? So although the total is there, you have to consider the expenses as well. So you want to make sure that you're pricing yourself so that you don't end up in the red and you have more going out and not enough coming in. All right. Nadine said blessed. All right. So we're going to move along. So getting back to being selfish with this, right? So what's in it for you? What's in it for you? So with a book collaboration, not only do you have an opportunity to amplify your impact and reach, you have an opportunity to support other leaders and game changers and co-authors to get their stories published into the marketplace. And just to pause on the support part, the majority of women I've worked with, when I get on calls with them, I always ask the question, how long have you been attempting to write and publish your book, and what's been preventing you from publishing or getting it complete? And the majority of them have struggled. And if this is you too, like, no judgment, if you, before you became published, if you struggled with getting it done for months or even years, type a number 5. Type a number 5. If you struggle for months or even years to initially get it done, type a number 5. And so when you think about that, right, let's pause right there and think about the impact. So you are attracting, handpicking co-authors to work with you on a project who's been struggling to get their story completed, to get their story in the marketplace, to have a book in their hands for months and years too. How amazing is that? So it's not just a win for you, but it's a win for them too. You are alleviating pressure. You are alleviating the pain, the stress, the struggle, the frustration, the overwhelm from individuals who have been working at something day in, day out, or sporadically for months and years, struggling with it. And you're able to take that off their plate or help them get to the published line sooner. And that's support. For me, that is amazing. That is extraordinary. And so, what's in it for you is also professional growth and leadership, because you're leading the charge. You are the visionary. Remember the who, the why, the what, and the connect. You decide what this experience will be. And as you move through it, you will be making decisions. You will be reaching out to people to contract their services, right? And so, this is all a part of the process. You are building a platform, not only for yourself, but for others. So you're leading the charge. How awesome is that? And the icing on the cake, the icing and the candles on the cake is having a published book when you're done, and everyone involved being able to generate revenue for their families, generate revenue for their business, generate revenue, even if it's starting from book sales. Because from the book sales, they're now able to explore additional opportunities, explore speaking engagements. They bring their books with them, and now they're also selling books for that. So it's more than just writing. It's more than just words on paper. It really is making impact. All right. So as I'm sharing that with you, I just want to pause right here and see if anyone has any questions so far. I don't see any in the chat right now. And how this is landing with you. Like, if you can describe the information shared with you thus far, sum it up in one word. How would that one word, just share in one word how you feel about the information you've received thus far. Because you really can leverage the success of the book to make an impact and create even bigger opportunities for yourself and for those who's on the project with you. So Tasha said empowered, excited, empowered, ready, informed, peaceful, intrigued. Okay, good. All of the above. All of the above. All right, so we're going to keep this train moving, and I have an exciting opportunity I want to share with you. But before I do, I want to bring something to your attention, something that I always do and think about when I'm getting ready to start an anthology project. And so that's the 3 M's: message, movement, and money. These are not just words, they are the pillars of your success as an author and entrepreneur. And so first up, the message, right? So you're in the center. This is your vision, this is your book baby. This is the heart of what you are doing and contributing. And so the heart of it, this is what you stand for, this is what you're sharing with the world. And so now you have to decide on a message. And when you get ready to think about or consider the message, it can feel somewhat daunting, or where do I go from here, or what do I put out into the universe? But I want to make it simpler for you. So this is something for you to think about. Ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What unique perspectives can I offer? And if you need a little more insight, then look around you. Look for experiences, look for conversations, even challenges, because these are gold mines for your ideas. But don't just stop there, right? And what you see in your perspective, but engage with your audience. Ask them what challenges they're facing, what dreams they're chasing. And this interaction isn't just enlightening, it's the foundation of a book that resonates and impact, or can make impact, because you're starting out early with grounding everything in the message and getting some insight and building momentum around the message that you want to share. And so the next moves into movement. So whether it's movement, it's marketing, and it's momentum. So with movement, this is about creating a buzz around your book. You're not just an author, you're a movement starter, because this message that you're looking to share will elevate the brand of your business. This will elevate the voices of the co-authors who's on the project with you. So think marketing with a twist. So it's about connecting, it's about engaging, it's about exciting your audience. So show up where they are, on social media, community events, speaking engagements, right? And so it's not just about talking, but it's about listening and responding. So you want to create content, the message, again, going back to the book, that sparks conversations, challenges the norms, and offers fresh perspectives, because the book is more than just pages. This is a catalyst for change. This is a transformative project that you want to put out there. And so marketing does matter, right? And so when you lead from the heart of the message, creating a movement, the marketing piece, then you get to the money, right? And so when you finally get to the money, you have your co-authors on board, you're marketing everything. I've touched on the financial benefits of authorship previously, but understand that in order for you to have a profit, you want to make sure that you price your projects accordingly. Your expenses should never overshadow your income. Your expenses should be lower than your income, because, or lower than the revenue, because that's how you make a profit. So whether it's marketing, it's publishing, or distribution, every dollar spent should be a step towards profitability. So you want to make sure that you keep your eyes peeled on the expenses of the project, and ensure that your expenses are below the revenue, because that's when you make a profit. And I guarantee you, with the right approach, your book can be a significant source of income. So there you have it, the 3 M's. Whenever I'm starting a book project, I always remember the 3 M's: message, movement, and money, because these are the keys to not just writing a book, but creating a legacy. It's about you sharing your vision, or turning your vision from dream to reality, and ensuring that you create a book that's impactful, meaningful for everyone involved, the writer as well as the co-authors. All right. So as we close, I want to leave you with this quote: "The graveyard is the richest place on earth, because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take that first step, keep with the problem, or determined to carry out their dream." Les Brown. That is one of my favorite quotes. And for me, it's a reminder to pursue my goals, my dreams relentlessly. And I want to encourage you to do the same. And so I am going to end the recording and stick around for those of you who are interested in hearing about the next opportunity to work with me for our Visionary Intensive program. You also have the workbook. And so just make sure you go through the workbook, answering the questions and just unpacking some of your ideas on what it is that you desire to create in regard to a visionary author experience. This is an opportunity for you to design your irresistible offer. So, again, just take some time, brainstorm, unpack the idea, go through some of the prompts within the video. Within the workbook, and make sure that you are answering, of course, your why, who your audience is, what message you want to bring awareness to, and so on and so forth. So, thank you all for being on with me today. Dr. Tamara here. You can follow me on Facebook, The CEO Wife, Instagram, Dr. Tamara Mitchell Davis, TikTok, _CEO Wife, and the website is also there. All right. So I'll chat with you all soon, and take care.